Oh, yeah. Okay. Take a look, I'm a cook. I roasted bread so it's not that sad. I shouldn't do garlics because I'm lacking sleep. Okay. 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 Pardon. Sorry. Sorry. Okay.
Of dining experience. And this is the highest level of dining experience in the world. And I'm gonna be testing every level in between to find out, does a higher price equal a better dining experience?
I think the best possible dining experience, before we even get into this, is a mid-level cost, right? Because at some point, it's diminishing returns. If you go to a Longhorn Steakhouse and get a good steak, and then you go to a Jeff Ruby's, and you get a good steak. Your Longhorn Steakhouse steak is going to be, what, $30 if you get a good filet? If you go to Jeff Ruby's, it's going to be, what, $140? If you get an aged one, it could be more. And, yeah, the Jeff Ruby's one or the high-quality steakhouse one is going to be better. But it's not going to be that much better that it's worth forfeiting that much more money. So I've always thought that, like, good chain restaurants are just the best in terms of quality for money. It doesn't mean that fine dining is never worth it, but it's that, like, the best possible bang for your buck is always going to be, like, a mid-tier food.
Starting with level 1, fast food. The restaurant's name, Burger Factory. This is the cheapest restaurant.
This looks like it was pieced together with random leftover Legos. Like,
Yeah, no.
this looks like
Cocos.
some shit I'd build in like
Oh,
a Roblox,
Cocos.
like early Roblox pre-servers back when it was like off-brand Minecraft.
This is the cheapest restaurant of this video. Guys, I looked in a 100-mile radius, and this right here is the worst restaurant I can possibly find. This place is
Well, I mean, they have a fat-ass sign that says now EBT accept.
really no joke. It's got some of the worst one-star reviews I've ever seen. Shantae C said, there was an old dirty-ass penny in my baby.
There was an old dirty penny? Nah. Yo, that's kind of funny, though. That's kind of funny, though. I would be mad, but at the same time, if somebody gave me food and there was just a penny from, like, 1930.
Cheeseburger. No. No, dude. Jenny I posted this photo and just titled it Pink Lemonade with Bug.
I mean, that wouldn't really press me that much, though. I'd probably just fish that bitch out and keep drinking it. Yo, this brings up the question, though. How many hairs do you have to find in your food to say something? 2. 2 or 3. If I find 1, I'm not gonna say shit. I found a piece of hair in a lot of my food at restaurants. I don't really give a fuck. It doesn't bother me. I know so many motherfuckers are like, I can't eat the food. I'm like, dude, do you realize you finding a hair in your food is nowhere near as bad as shit that you've eaten without knowing it? You gotta think, when you go to a restaurant, there is a sweaty, dirty, old man that is dripping over your burger, okay? Sweating over it. He's probably on cocaine or some other drug, right? When you go to a shitty restaurant and you're gonna sit there and be like, oh, I found a hair in my burger. I found a hair in my burger. Some dude on acid just made that burger and fucking actually might have just fucking spit all over it, right? And you have no idea. Like, this man might have actually just peed on your hamburger and then cooked it, and you don't know.
Diana C says, I got the worst case of food poisoning. I have been sick all day throwing up. And with all of this in mind,
I remember my uncle one time. This video is gonna take forever to finish, Chad. I'm sorry. I'm gonna yap so much. You already know it. When I got Chinese food with my uncle one time, he ate. I think I've told this before. I think it was like lo mein or something. It came in like a jar, and he ate the whole thing. And he said like halfway through, he just kept telling himself that it tasted weird. And then he was like, oh, dude, I was so hungry, I didn't give a fuck. Ate the whole thing. Immediately got food poisoning. And was sick for the next 4 days. If you're eating Chinese food and it tastes funky, don't keep eating it.
all right, let's go inside. Walking up to this place, I noticed they had a drive-thru with this outdoor menu here. And they were serving everything from fish to pizza to banana breakfast. And it kind of seemed like they were trying to market towards kids because these decals look like a Mr. Beast thumbnail. But guys, I'm going in with an open mind.
Dude, the entire building is covered in their fucking foods. You know it's a bad restaurant when they have this many options. Like, I don't want to be that guy. It's like going to a diner, dude. It means they're just mediocre at everything. If you go to a restaurant and there's more than 2 pages, it means they're just kind of mid.
Hello?
Oh, they got an ATM with fucking scratchings on it out front. That's always nice.
Oh, hi. Just one hamburger special, please.
What can I drink?
A pink.
He fucking acts appalled. You want the hamburger special? The guys in the back start whispering to each other. We haven't made that in years. All right, I'll just have the hot dog. Oh, fuck. Because they have 5,000 things on their menu. They haven't made any of them before.
I guess that'll be it.
Bro, this shit isn't even cheap, though. Taco special's $14.
All right, put in our order, guys. After ordering, I noticed they had a sitting area with tables that had some very rustic charm. We sat down next to this TV that was playing a show called Problema Technico. Honestly, it was pretty boring. I'm hoping the food's good. Might be asking for too much there. Maybe I just hope not to get food poisoning. Wish me luck. I waited for about 5 minutes and my food was ready. Thank you. All right, guys, we got our food. First things first, I say we check the lemonade for any bugs. No bugs. Yeah, hashtag bugless.
Dude, that literally just looks like a lean cup. I don't think I've ever gotten served one of those. Like a styrofoam.
Let's guess. Let's try the French fries. They have like a really weird aftertaste. They're fine, I guess. Moving on to our burger here. Keep in mind, this is what the restaurant is actually named after. Okay.
I mean, it just looks like a really shitty BK burger.
Could be worse. Let's go ahead and try the burger. As far as a burger goes, dude.
Yo, I know that shit's so dry. What is on that, Jack? Is that just fucking lettuce and beef? Is there any other toppings?
There's like 20 gnats on me. I'm getting swarmed with bugs, guys. Dude, this is gross, dude. This right here just won the record for the...
Dude, there's literally only lettuce and burger meat. What is on that? Is there no cheese? No ketchup? Nothing? Like, I don't even like ketchup on my burger, but this shit looks fucking gross.
Worst burger I've ever had, which is kind of crazy. The actual patty is...
He gives him an award. Congratulations, guys. This was the worst meal I think I've ever had.
It's not the worst thing ever. It's just really...
There's just a dirty penny, just like wedged in between the patty. Actually, that patty doesn't look that bad. Yeah, it does. That
To bylo
is that
hustý,
like mayo
ty.
or butter, or is that just like how
Jak se to
gray
tam
the meat
prostě
is?
dostane, ty vůbec.
But the lettuce...
Dude, it's lettuce, pickles, and a fucking
Tam fakt musí být
burger
nějaký
patty.
uživatel drog,
That's
ty.
it.
almost positive
Nebo
this
nevím.
lettuce is expired or very close to expired.
Dude, I was gonna say that lettuce looks good, chat. I was gonna say that lettuce looks crunchy.
As far as a dining experience goes, this is absolutely level 1. But I'm hoping this is the worst experience we have because the restaurants we're going to are only going to get more expensive. I kind of just want to get out of here and get to our next restaurant. And so that's what we did. We made our way to our next restaurant and our next level, level 2. Buffet. And the restaurant's name is International Buffet. This restaurant is more expensive than Burger Factory, but for a good reason. It's because it's all you can eat, baby.
Dude, I feel like there could be high quality buffets though. Like, when was the last time you guys went to a buffet? I'm not saying on a cruise ship or some other shit. Like, when was the last time you just pulled up to a buffet? I feel like I haven't gone to a buffet since, I don't know, maybe I was 10. Like, I'm saying like a buffet restaurant where you're just like walking in, paying $40 and then eating as much as you want.
This isn't quite perfect because there's been some questionable sightings at this restaurant, such as cockroach in the chicken, pieces of food in the jello, and creepy cook. Crazy, dude. Anyway,
Creepy cook, bro. You're the one taking a picture of it.
anyways, I should probably get inside because according to the reviews, exactly where I'm standing is home to a rat infestation. Let's just go inside.
I would say those are mice.
So I made my way inside. Hi. And this kind lady helped me place my order for a one-person buffet ticket.
1763.
Awesome. Then
Dude, that's mad cheap.
she led me over to my table.
No jak dlouho je to all you can eat? Některý jsou totiž omezený časově.
What are you saying?
To je vždycky super moment, no.
What was that?
Když mluví v cizím jazyce.
I don't know.
Go ahead. You can get the food.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry. Oh, yeah, we're just relaxing. I feel like I was doing
Bro, that was so funny. Oh my god, that was fucking hilarious.
demanded right now. I was kind of overwhelmed in this moment, but I'll tell you what, the interior of this place was unlike anything I've ever seen. This place was pretty festive. It seemed like they were celebrating almost every single holiday, and you could tell this place has been around for a long time.
Yeah, you see Danny DeVito fucking crawl out of one of these couches. Niche joke there. For all my Always Sunny in Philadelphia fans.
I am pretty hungry because I didn't finish my burger, so I say we go load up on some food. I tried to get a wide range of options here so we could properly rate the food. Now they had some very interesting options that honestly kind of scared me. Oh, they got oysters.
Oh my god, unlimited clam chowder. I think I'm gonna go here every day.
But I was able to construct this plate here that consisted of pizza, an egg roll, soup.
Ta
That
pizza,
looks
to vypadá hodně
like a
zajímavě.
gummy pizza. That pizza looks like something I would get at a gas station.
Wow, to je
in
pizza
like a
nějaká
little
směsice,
package
to je
with maybe a
úplně
hamburger,
smíchaný.
like a gummy hamburger.
But of course we can't forget about dessert, so I
Jello, chopped up jello. Yeah.
To je jako kdyby smíchali ketchup, sír a pak to pláce a co ty.
also made sure to grab some of their famous jello. Oh my...
famous Jello, bro. They got some dude. See, that's what I'm talking about. There's a guy in the back sweating over the Jello in a vat with a big wooden spoon, just churning that shit. That famous Jello, he's dripping all over it. He probably had to take a piss and just peed in the fucking in the big vat where they're just churning that shit. That shit is not famous.
Dude, what is that? What is that? Is that a hair? Dude.
That guy was shaving his face over the Jello vat.
Try it out.
Ty
Alright, guys, I got my
ovládá
plate of
jo.
food. Let's try the pizza.
Přitom je to vidět, tyjo.
I mean, bro, but for like $17, all you could eat.
Like literally nothing. I don't know how they managed to make this piece of pizza taste like
Oh, dude, that's just a frozen pizza.
Jo,
literally
mařena.
nothing. They figured it out though. I'm gonna try this egg roll. This is the smallest egg roll I've ever seen. Are they usually this small?
No.
No comment. This is the famous orange chicken here.
They start walking up to him again. They're speaking a different language. He starts panicking. They start just handing him bowls of clam chowder. He starts fucking freaking out.
I don't see any roaches in the chicken, which is honestly big dub. That was gnarly. Let's try the sushi.
Bro, that really, I mean, that sushi just looks low. At the end of the day, it looks low quality. It's safe for sure. Like if you were gonna get food poisoning from it, you would fucking sue them. But it's just a thick chunk of imitation crab, like a small sliver of avocado, and then what is that? Like cucumber?
Sushi.
Okay, Jack, that just pissed me off. You ate it like that. Who the fuck, Jack? Bro, like you just fucking eat. It's a sushi roll. You eat the whole fucking thing.
That's the best thing for sure. Okay, now the only thing left was the Jello. You know,
The famous Jello.
one with the hair in it. I'm gonna need you guys to subscribe because I'm gonna try this. No part of me wants to eat this. Bottoms up.
He's eating the hair one? Bro,
I refuse to
there's no way. It's just Jello.
swallow it, guys. I can't. Guys, as far as experience goes, this is
You just go to this place and load up on their famous Jello for hours, dude. You literally get a plate and just pour all the Jello onto it and just fucking sit there and eat it.
I think I'd rather eat a lunchly than consume the orange chicken they sell here. I guess that's a level 2 experience for you. But as we move on to our next restaurants, I have a feeling things are going to get pretty ridiculous. The next restaurant is a lot more expensive and hopefully a better experience here at level 3, casual dining. And this spot goes by the name of Frisco's Diner. Guys, we're making our way up the tiers of luxury here. This restaurant looks so much better than the previous two. Thank God, we're finally reaching the level where you actually get your food served to you. All right, let's go feast. Entering this place, it instantly felt way nicer than the previous two restaurants. It had a vibey diner theme, which I actually did appreciate, but most importantly, it was clean. The decorations were straight out of a teenage girl's
Yeah, this is kind of a cool ass fucking restaurant.
Pinterest board, but look, I'm not judging.
They have the whole body of old cars.
Božínku, ten kašel, to je hrozný.
This
Only 3 stars. I think it's based off price. Like, this is still technically a fast food joint.
girl helped me place my order super speedy, and we sat down. Within
Asi je
10
to
minutes,
fast
our
food,
food
no.
arrived on a beautiful tray. I was starving, so
Oh.
we got right into it. This looks so good. Kind of strawberry
To
milkshake
vypadá
here.
tolikrát hezčí, než tom předešli,
It's the
tyjo.
best thing we've had so far. French fries, an American
Tohle co podle mě
classic.
bude ta nejlepší
God.
cena
They
výkon
have,
poměr.
they have world famous Jello
No.
here too. Oh no.
Chápem se.
When you compare these to Burger Factory, it's night and day, bro. This is the Frisco's bacon and avocado burger, I think.
Okay, that actually really looks good.
Avokado, to bych asi nechtěl, tyjo.
Look, I'm no Nick to Giovanni, but this food was slapping. But as delicious as
Ale
this
jinak
food
dobrý.
was, I wouldn't say
Vypadá
it's
to celkem
necessarily
zdravě.
gourmet by any means. And upon further
I mean, I wouldn't say gourmet, but I
trošku je
would
tam
say it's definitely
nepořádek na
better
stole,
than a
no.
base fast food restaurant.
investigation, there was some mess around the restaurant, which as a level 3
Dude, that seems, yeah, that's probably from these dumbass kids.
restaurant, it honestly seems pretty fitting.
That was not meant to be mean. All kids are dumbass kids.
Leaving this restaurant, I was excited to throw some freaking racks, dude. Because the next restaurant is a lot more expensive and it's a level 4 fine dining. And the name of this luxury spot, Barton G's. This place.
You're disrespecting them. I am not disrespecting them, asshole.
This restaurant serves some of the craziest food I've ever laid my eyes on. Judging by the looks of the outside, this place already looks way nicer. But for being over 3 times the price of the last restaurant, I'm curious to see how this place will actually hold up. Hi, we're excited. Yeah, first time.
Yeah, no more question. Let's do it.
Whoa, this place.
I always feel so awkward when you go to a new restaurant that's like supposed to be unique or trendy.
Tak tam už to vypadá moc draze. To už není, to ani nemá, no jasně. Pohoda, doufám, že tohle bude bezpečný video.
I wanted to explain the situation that's been going on with YouTube for years and why I left the platform. First off, the situation with the
Tenhle youtuber je dobrý, škoda, že už to
story is about a camera woman who was struck by a train while working on the set of an independent film called Midnight Rider. I originally posted this video on July 4th, 2019.
Škoda, že to se soukromně, ale
8 months or so before I took it down because I mixed up the victim's name with her sister's somehow. The 8 months or so that this video was on YouTube, it did not have any restrictions on it. 2 years later, on January 27th, 2022, I re-uploaded the video with the correct information. I think I was ashamed I had mixed the names up, so that's why it took me so long to post the video. After posting the video, the YouTube internal review team gave it limited monetization. I thought this was a mistake, or anyone being struck by the AI to run free information. Increasingly, YouTube is becoming adults fighting and isn't a
Ježišmarja. Jakože ne...
I noticed my amoeba story is you'll find
Některé
videos
ty
posted.
kanály jsou fakt šílený, no.
I miss my subscribers on YouTube a lot. You have to understand that.
No, chápu, to prostě potřebuje taky nějaký peníz, no. Čínská pálivá polívka. OK. Anetka drink. Bude to Česko. Pochopení nejopilejší země na světě, to by mohlo být Česko. Těžko říct. Koukám se.
My name is Mark Manson, and I'm trying to stay sober in the drunkest country in the world.
Irsko?
Alcohol, the most addictive substance in the world. But which country is the most addicted of all? Well, it depends how you measure it. The country that consumes the most alcohol, that's Romania, at 17 liters per person. The country that binge drinks the most often, Ireland, with roughly 48% of its population binge drinking at least once a month. The country with the most alcohol-related hospitalizations, Belarus. The most drunk driving accidents, South Africa. But there is one country that outstrips the drinking of all these other countries by a mile. And this country flies under the radar on these official statistics, and that's because nearly half of all alcohol made in this country isn't bought in bars, but it's made by citizens right in their own homes. I wanted to see this drunkest country in the world for myself. I wanted to understand why they drink so much, what's driving that alcoholism, why they can't seem to stop. And that's why I visited Hungary. Hungary's drinking problem is absolutely staggering. Chronic alcohol consumption
To chápu, no. Wow, dítě. Okay. Tyhle videa, ty jsou takový dokumentární, ty jsou dobrý. Zkusil jsem podvodné aplikace. Hmm. Tohle zní docela zajímavě.
In 2000, a 13-year-old boy named Justin Berry got his first webcam and signed up for a site where he could make new friends. He'd hoped to meet some people his own age, but found that only older men were contacting him. What initially seemed to be innocent conversations soon led Justin down a dark path of crime, SA, and drug addiction. Let's investigate.
Reálně ho nabíjím půl hoďky a procenta jsou furt stejný, tam už je rozbitá baterka tolik, tyjo.
Feel free to subscribe and turn on notifications for more content like this. If you're interested in supporting the channel, you can become a Ko-fi member or a channel member to gain access to uncut videos and other perks, or you can leave me a tip by clicking the thanks under this video. Thanks to anyone who considers this. Justin Berry got his first webcam and signed up to spotlife.com, a directory of webcam users, using the name Justin Camboy. He wasn't exactly popular in school and was hoping to make some new friends online.
Nic, vezem, ale ten hlas já, nevím, nějak nefíluju ten hlas, nevím proč, možná i ten přízvuk. Tyjo, Petra Kanty. Tuc Honeychurch. Tyjo, to jméno, to mě něco říká. Tuc. Protože moc, ježiš, to je děsivý, ale moc lidí se Tuc nemenuje, mě to něco říká. Tuc
Honeychurch, a name that slowly gained online notoriety over the past few years for the disturbing and bizarre emails that individuals across the world would receive from her. 6 years ago, on the r/fake-name subreddit, user Zubzub30 would make a post with just 2 words, Tuts Honeychurch. Years later, the post would gain attention with users describing their experiences receiving emails from this mysterious person. My school email just got hit with this. From Tuts Honeychurch, PDFs, JPEGs, and PNGs about an apology. And Hawaiian content. I'm not about to open these attachments, but here's a photo of them. Very strange. My girlfriend just received a resume with the same name at work, but the document was just a bunch of scattered notes about a murder spree that happened in the 70s. Some weird shit's going on. I just received a Tuts email along with nearly 300 of my work colleagues. It claims to be an apology with no context, and includes several attachments that I dare not open. My whole university department just received them. So strange. Just under 3 weeks ago, one Reddit user compiled the pages and pages of documents that Tuts emailed them all into a Google Doc. Here's what the emails consist of. It's a jumbled mess of photos and walls of text. Actors, criminals, and just random citizens make up the majority of these pages. The things described are at times very conspiratorial and don't make much sense. Now, before we dive deeper into these emails, who is Tuts Honeychurch? Bizarrely, when you search up the name, you'll find out that Tuts Honeychurch was a 2016 Democratic candidate who ran for Senate in Hawaii. She received 1,815 votes, but didn't win. Sorry, Tuts. Better luck next time. The picture of Tuts listed on the page is extremely low quality. Tuts Honeychurch has both a LinkedIn and Twitter account. The picture on LinkedIn is of some other woman, different from the previous one. The rest of the account is just empty, leaving us with just that one photo. Her Twitter account is kinda the same, 0 tweets with only a new photo. Now, given that this picture has a grand total of 7 pixels, it makes it hard to tell if it is the same woman shown on the election page. The only 3 accounts that she follows is Ellen, KHON2 News, and Daniel Tosh, so no new leads there. Tuts Honeychurch also has an Instagram account. She has nearly 22,000 followers, which I think are all botted, but interestingly, she is following one account, Michael Miskey. I'm 99% certain this account is just a parody and a joke because they post goofy conspiracy videos and the bio, well, At first, I had no idea how this account relates to Tut's Honeychurch. I mean, it's the only one out of 4 total accounts she follows that isn't a celebrity or news organization. Though it turns out that Mike Miskey was a man that was found guilty of racketeering and other felony charges, including the disappearance and presumed murder of Jonathan Fraser, the friend of Mike's deceased son, who passed away in a car accident that Fraser was also in but survived. It's believed that Mike blamed Fraser for the death of his son and, well, contributed to Fraser's disappearance. Mike, who was being held and was awaiting his sentencing just next month, was found dead just a few days ago. So why bring this all up?
To je teda život,
one of
fakt.
the pages that Tut's Honeychurch
Někdo ti
emailed
nechtěně
out,
teda
she briefly
zabije
mentions
syna,
Mike
ty
Miskey.
zabiješ toho
Quote,
zabijáka,
"The
pak
Mike
se zabiješ
Jr.
sám,
court
to je
case
prostě
should be thrown
speedrun, ty.
out." Unfortunately, that's all that you could probably understand because Tuts goes back into her yapping ways, talking about stuff that, as far as I can tell, has no correlation to the Miskey court case. While looking through some of her emails, something completely freaked me out. I found my name listed in some of her ramblings. Yes, my actual name. I'm not going to show it for obvious reasons, but I definitely shit myself when I found it. At the bottom of one of the files she sent through email, she includes hundreds of pages of email addresses. They're all government or news-related emails from what I can tell, but just in case some of them aren't public, I'll have to blur them all. Another thing Tuts includes in one of the emails sent out was a photo of her government ID, and sure enough, her name on it is actually Tuts Honeychurch, and it's the same woman from the 2016 political race she ran for. So this has to be the mastermind behind all of these emails being sent out across the world to various universities and office workers. One of the earliest recorded emails from Tuts was 10 years ago in 2014. Somebody posted the text from her email on the footballguys.com forums. The email's title was "Kidnapped 8 Years, Honeychurch Rosa." At first, I thought Tuts was just a nickname, though from the ID she proudly posted in those emails, we now know that's not the case. Tuts rants about her family throughout most of this, though something disturbing continues to pop up. Yes, I just can't see a bunch of people saying family arrive from the housing to watch a prom, a program they would never forgive me. Almost done advertising to every college professor in Oklahoma. Kidnapped, I'm supposed to be back in the TSA with Adolf and Ava Jr. Still kidnapped from the federal government. Joined 2 days ago before the World Trade attack. Compared age notes, unnecessary drama, plan to understand what confidential is. People stalking, trying to plan my days. Tuts in this email constantly mentions either being kidnapped or a kidnapping of some kind having happened. Unfortunately, it's hard to tell if it's based in reality or just another random thing she's saying in the hundreds, if not thousands, of pages of incoherent thoughts and writings. I'm hoping she's okay, and she most likely is, since she's still been active online, sending her emails just this past month. Someone commented under this post, linking an even older post about Tuts and her emails. This time from 2010, though it's just the same exact one I just showed you. Tuts also has a blog page from 2016 that gives some answers, and even more questions as to why she's been doing this. Before bed, during milk and cookies with technology, a computer, I would introduce myself to different educational universities of complete staff directories around the world. Introduce myself, where I live, my address, my work, my personal answer about everything. I have introduced myself, emailing educational universities of entire staff directories.
Prostě self-promo, no, ale takový
professors
divný.
at each university. 300 different and repeating universities per month from 2008 till today for 8 years. Have been to Stanford, Oxford, Yale, Princeton, and other numerous distinguished universities more than 500 times, with personal connections directly to entire staff directories, interpretation, to be married, a language. So Tuts admits on this page that she has been emailing hundreds of staff members in various universities all around the world since 2008. And it's not just universities. Someone on Reddit reported getting a resume from her in Oslo, Norway for a sales job. She has lived in Hawaii for what seems like her entire life, so why? Her reasoning for all of this is still completely unknown. Some people online have claimed that the first letter of each line in her emails are actually hiding some hidden encoded message. Others believe it's just a spam bot sending out random conspiracies and stuff that makes no sense. Though we know that's likely not true, considering Tuts is very much real. I've thought about it for a few days now, and I haven't been able to think of a single reason as to why she's been doing this. It could be totally random spam emails that aren't meant to have meaning, but I just don't believe that. Tuts has been emailing thousands of people across the world for 16 years. I'm sure some of you watching have even been emailed by her. She's put together PDFs and PowerPoint-like files with images of people she may or may not know. There are pictures of Jason Momoa, Adam Sandler, and then images of Michael Miskey, who was arrested for murder, alongside other murder suspects in different cases, or just random individuals. Look, it could totally just be the ramblings of a conspiracy theorist, but I don't know. It feels like there's more to Tuts Honeychurch that we still don't know about. It's possible that she has some kind of mental illness, but I'm nowhere near qualified enough to start guessing what it may be. I'm curious to know what you guys think about all of this in the comments below.
Zajímavé. Like. No, skoro 50 000. Cítím se nemilovaný, jelikož jsem nikdy nedostal ani e-mail. Já si taky ne. No, mě to nenapadá. 76 dní. 76 dní prvního přeživšího rabies. Co je rabies? Není to to je nějaký parazit, ne? English. Počkej, vsteklina. A jo, tak to bude nějaký extra starý video, to nic, teď vsteklina dneska je chill, to má každý. Já teda asi ne, ale to je pohoda. Děsivý face. Smart schoolboy. 59, no. Už možná i 60. Šílený. Hele, Vlogmas, Yankee. Hard drive. I tried. Monster hotels. A teď jsem řekl hotels. Hotels across Europe. Oh můj bože. Tak. To je hoďka, tak to asi ne, no. Ale to vypadá zajímavé.
It's December 4th, 2003.
I'm gonna go try to get them to stop doing that.
A police officer walking in a local park in Arlington, Virginia, is approached by a concerned family, claiming that someone in a nearby neighborhood had been shooting off a flare gun. The officer could hear it too, and following the sound, he eventually found himself at the home of 56-year-old James Yu. The man lived alone in his half of this duplex, and was described by neighbors as a recluse, known to exhibit unusual behavior. Across his social media, he made posts claiming that he was the victim of fraud at the hands of all sorts of government agencies.
Mně to připomíná takovýho... Jo, není to on. není to ten týpek, který furt jako si myslel, že ho někdo sleduje z vlády. Ono jako, chápeš, každýho do určitý míry sledují, ale tenhle jsem to bral hodně vážně, ne? Je to on? Možná to není. Asi to není on. Ale taky to byl nějaký asi.
He had covered up all of his windows with garbage bags and aluminum foil, and he even wrapped his trees in toilet paper. And though these actions are entirely harmless, on this day, things were becoming far more troubling. When police arrived at his home, you would be seen firing his flare gun out of his window and into the air, over and over again. And despite repeated attempts to get him to stop,
Arlington County Police! Stop shooting the flares! Mr. Yu!
He didn't let up, shooting 41 flares in the span of just 25 minutes. And he did it all with no explanation. In fact, he didn't even say a single word. Understandably, police were eager to get you out of his home for questioning, as at this point it wasn't obvious whether or not he was a threat. And so for hours and hours they called out to him, first asking and then demanding that he exit his home.
James, Arlington Police, come to the front door with your hands up, do it now.
Blikají.
But still, there was no response. Growing impatient and worried that you might be planning something, the police would eventually bring in a specialized vehicle to bust down the door and spray the inside of the home with gas, all in an attempt to draw you outside.
James, stay away from your front door.
Pizak má plynou masku. Ty, co to je? To je nějaký tank? Oh, wow, cože? V jakém státě je to natáčený? To jsem nikdy neviděl. To je auto s trubkou, ty. Oh. No, nevím, kam střílí.
Thankfully, none of these shots connected, but with the situation becoming increasingly dangerous, the officers decided to fall back, as they carefully came up with a new plan for apprehending you, though whatever they had been planning would never come to fruition.
Yeah.
In a split second, the home was gone, as a massive explosion rang out from inside the house, reducing the entire structure to rubble. Inside the house, you had stored 55 gallons of gasoline in his basement, which he saved for that moment to ignite, with no warning and no explanation.
Wow.
Based on the footage, it's been theorized that Yu's actions were an attempt to lure police into his home, so that he could then set off this explosion and take them all out along with his neighbors, as he genuinely believed that both parties were conspiring to kill him. Though somehow, when the smoke cleared, no civilians or police officers had so much as been injured. All that was found in the rubble was the remnants of a single body. Though for a moment, this wasn't the end of James Yu's story. Before that body could be identified, reports across social media began emerging showing that James Yu was somehow still alive. After the blast, comments were being made on what appeared to be Yu's YouTube channel, where he stated that this whole thing was a cover-up and that he wasn't even inside the home when the standoff started, which, looking back, we never actually see him, and we also never hear his voice. Numerous posts pointing out this development would go viral and cause mass confusion about the story, which was only heightened when it was revealed that the body inside that building was in fact James Yu. Though in the end, it wasn't really as mysterious as some originally thought.
Takže je to on, ale
as it
někdo
turns out,
píše
the
za
post
něj.
showing these comments failed to realize that this wasn't actually Yu's account, and instead it had a completely different username, with the account likely having been created as nothing more than a hoax.
Oh.
To this day, though, there are some that still believe that this was all some sort of massive
Tyjo,
cover-up.
to je ale
But in reality,
děsivý,
it just seems that this was the result of a man gripped by crippling paranoia and loneliness, with it all coming to a head in what has gone on to become one of YouTube's darkest videos.
Ježiš, to je nějaký německý Co to je za hlas? Doufám, že to nebyl takový ten pán rakouský.
The internet is a dark and disturbing frontier. This year alone, countless people have fallen victim to high-profile data breaches, raising serious concern about personal information security. Ticketmaster experienced a breach compromising over 560 million of their customer records. But most alarming of all, the National Public Data announced that they too had suffered a breach, where a staggering 2.9 billion records were leaked, potentially impacting every single American. And these leaks included critical personal information, such as full names, addresses, dates of birth, phone numbers, and even social security numbers. If you haven't been taking your online security seriously, then it's time for a change. Though thankfully I feel secure because I've been using today's sponsor, Aura. Aura monitors your personal data, including your social security number, across billions of different data points, which includes the dark web and public court records, to alert you about potential identity theft. They even provide up to $5 million in identity theft insurance in case the worst happens. And with their real-time alerts for data breaches, a VPN for safe browsing, a password manager, and much, much more, they really are the ultimate tool for protecting yourself online. I'm not leaving myself or my family vulnerable to data breaches, and if you don't want to either, then go on over to aura.com/nickcrowley to try your first 2 weeks absolutely free, which will give Aura enough time to find out if any of your information has been exposed.
Dream Spice.
There was really nothing else like it. This obscure 27,000 square
To je
foot
zajímavé,
structure
jak je
allowed
to
visitors to enter into what
barevný
felt like another
a okolo
dimension.
není
It was an
vůbec.
exhibit called Dream Space and was the creation of British artist Maurice Agus, a 74-year-old artistic visionary obsessed with the idea of creating large-scale surreal environments. And this was his magnum opus. The structure was inflatable, akin to a massive bounce house, and once inside, guests were confronted with a labyrinth of brightly colored walls and cells, twisting and turning into some sort of surreal maze that patrons were told to lose themselves in. This piece of art premiered back in 2004, and due to its inflatability, it was actually built to travel, making stops in major cities in the UK, before it was eventually set up at Riverside Park in Durham on the 22nd of June, 2006. The very next day, 68-year-old Elizabeth Collings would visit the area with her husband and her daughter, as well as her 14-year-old grandson. And spotting this unusual structure in the distance, Elizabeth's grandson insisted on checking it out, excitedly taking off his shoes and running inside. And while the rest of the group was more apprehensive about entering, Elizabeth eventually decided to accompany him, leaving her husband and daughter on the outside.
Ježiš, doufám, že se tam nestratila
She was going in to find peace and serenity. Outside,
Ježiš,
Elizabeth's husband and daughter sat at a nearby table and enjoyed a cup of tea whilst conversing about the events of the week, only for the man to turn his head and notice that Dream Space was slightly moving, to which he excitedly said, "Oh, it's a ride. I wish I had gone on it." The daughter then turned her head to see the structure as it began to rise up off the ground, to which she chillingly responded,
To byl nějaký vítr. Velký vítr. Tyjo, představa, že no asi jo, když se kouknu na ty stromy, vypadá to větrně celkem. To je blbý. Tak být na tom nejvyšším bodě teďka. No. I když se to tak No. Ježišmarja, ten ono to napravo někdo byl.
Agus just so happened to be standing at the entrance as it began to shift, and noticing what was happening, he grabbed on as he desperately tried to hold down his entire life's work, though clearly this was of no use. And after being lifted in the air, his grip failed, sending him falling back to the ground below, where he lay staring up at his creation that was now flying 30 feet above him.
To je kvalita. I v Minecraftu, kdyby to předělali, tak to je hezčí.
Inside, there was many as 30 people who were now being thrashed around this giant inflatable structure in a scene that I truly can't even imagine. The claustrophobia of it, the dizzying colors, the screams. It's genuinely one of the most horrific scenarios I've ever heard. The inflatable structure was airborne for well over a minute, folding into itself before finally crashing back down into a parking lot, leaving behind what was described by witnesses as a field of bodies. Worst of all, the majority of those in attendance were families with small children, with one 7-year-old girl recounting her experience, saying, "It was very scary and people were screaming. I saw a lady clinging on and then falling out, and then she was lying on her back with people around her. I think she died." This lady was most likely 68-year-old Elizabeth Collings, who had been ejected from the structure when it was in the air, with her injuries being catastrophic and unsurvivable. Of all the others now sprawled throughout this field of grass, most were left injured but thankfully not in serious condition, though this wasn't the case for 38-year-old Claire from Edge, who had been inside during the accident with her 2 children. And despite her kids surviving, she was sadly not so lucky, with Claire and Elizabeth being the sole fatalities of the incident.
Takže jedna paní.
The video is terrifying. And though it's easy to say that this could have been so much worse, considering how many people were in Dream Space at the time,
lidí bylo uvnitř a umřel jeden člověk.
It devastated 2 families and likely left many others
Čekal bych víc, ale oni měli štěstí, že se to tak zakroutilo, že se to zpomalilo.
Well, that day was particularly warm, which likely caused the air inside the structure to expand, causing a hot air balloon-like effect, which was then exacerbated by sudden strong gusts of wind, which eventually caused the structure to go airborne, as in the end, it just wasn't properly secured for the conditions. Soon after the incident, Maurice Agus was arrested for manslaughter, though he would ultimately only end up paying a small fine, as he vowed to never create a large work again. Just a few years later, in 2009, Maurice Agus would pass away, with his legacy forever being defined by this devastating footage.
To je blbý, no. Nevím. Jakože slyšel jsem třeba o případu, kdy prostě měli budovu, kde byla svatba, bylo na té svatbě moc lidí, ale ta budova to normálně měla zvládnout a nezvládla, tak tam umřelo víc lidí, tak chápu, jakože no tady, nevím, no, jakoby udělal umění v uvozovkách, umřel tam jeden člověk, nevím. Asi jako záleží na tom, jak moc to zajistil, no. Evidentně ne dost, ale záleží jak moc, no. Že?
On October 2nd, 2006, police entered the home of 31-year-old Elaine Campione, where inside they found the woman speaking incoherently. Next to her was a VHS camera, depicting a series of disturbing events that had transpired within the home over the previous months and days, with the footage eventually finding its way to YouTube.
Co tam jako je?
Hi Serena, it's August 8th, 2006. Happy birthday.
Ty vole, ono je ráno, tak to je hrozně, to je horor, no, že je ráno.
The tape starts with Elaine pointing her new camera at her daughter Serena. It was her 3rd birthday, and to celebrate, Elaine had left a brand new bike in the living room.
Yeah, it's
What is it?
It's a bike.
Days later, the footage continues, showing Serena once again as Elaine asks,
How does Mama love you? Oh, I love you more than that. How much does Mama love you?
Elaine then shows her other daughter Sophia, who was just a baby, before turning the camera on herself and showing the kids how the device worked.
Hi! See how the camcorder works?
Yes, the fireworks.
Look. Hi!
Hi.
Is that Mommy? Hi!
So far, the footage seems like nothing more than your standard family home videotape, and appears completely wholesome. Though with the next recording, the tone begins to shift, and things start to become slightly concerning.
This is a deplorable, horrible, messy, filthy apartment that supposedly my 2 children and I live in, and it's just a horrible, horrible mess. Yeah.
Ty kokos, co si stěžuješ, ty vůbec netušíš, počkej, můžu to vůbec ukázat. Oh my god, ok. Ona vůbec neví, o čem žvaní, tyjo. No, v pohodě.
I hope he burns in hell for all his sins, the same as Leonardo.
As Elaine shows the camera her home, she begins joking about how they are living in deplorable conditions before randomly calling family home videotape, and appears completely wholesome. Though with the next recording, the tone begins to shift, and things start to become slightly concerning.
This is a deplorable, horrible, messy, filthy apartment that supposedly my 2 children and I live in, and it's just a horrible, horrible mess. Diego Campione is totally wrong. I hope he burns in hell for all his sins. The same as
Kdo to je? To je manžel
As
asi, že?
Elaine shows the camera her home, she begins
Ex-manžel.
joking about how they are living in deplorable conditions, before randomly calling out two men who she says she hopes burn in hell, all while her children are in the same room. She starts to grow more and more agitated.
All I wanted to do was take care of my two little girls and live happily ever after the 3 years of physical, emotional, and mental abuse that I endured tremendously by Leonardo Campione, and in the past year,
Leonardo da
Anna and
Vinci.
Diego Campione, the mental and emotional abuse.
Outright saying that she was abused by a man named Leonard Campione, who happened to be her ex-husband and the father of these children. And she goes on from there, with each moment clearly making the kids more and more anxious.
And I want justice to my family for what they have all done to us. I cried out for help. They should have charged him for the assaults he did to me.
Eventually causing Elaine to snap out of it and stop the camera.
And my poor 3-year-old, I did everything to protect. And what are you saying, Sophia? What do you want?
The video then skips forward once more, with this footage being taken just days before the police were called, showing Serena coloring on the floor as Elaine asks,
Who loves ya? Who loves you the most? That much? Oh, I think I love you more than that.
The scene that unfolds next was recorded on that very same night, just hours later.
Jo, to je nějaká youtuberka. Žijou v normálním baráku, vůbec si nerozumím. Má vysoký standard.
Elaine states that everything is gone as she speaks to Leo directly, accusing him of having ruined their lives with his constant abuse.
You are truly the devil. And I hate you. 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 And I want you to know how much I hate you.
Disturbingly, the children were nowhere to be seen in this footage, with Elaine eventually addressing them by saying,
God believes me.
Doufám, že nejsou. Aha. Bože, mental. Další mental, který zabil své děti, no, super. Jo. Stejně se divím, jako, jak se tohle stane, že si někoho vezmeš takovýho.
According to Elaine, not only were her children gone, but she was too. She stops the recording soon after. Despite saying this, the camera would actually start up one more time, where Elaine describes how she was still alive, despite having attempted to OD, which prompted her to call the police.
No jo, super.
When officers arrived at the home, both Serena and Sophia were found laying in her mother's bed, holding hands, and wrapped tightly in rosaries. Neither of them were alive.
Klasika, zabiješ ostatní, ale abys zabil potom sebe, tak to už není. Klasika.
And once in the tub, she told them to play a game, one where they would place their heads beneath the water and blow out bubbles. When they did this, Elaine held their heads down, and she didn't let go until she was certain they were gone. This footage is some of the most
Dvě děti zároveň? To se docela divím, že to zvládla. Ty holky už přece jenom mají nějaký věk. No.
Well, it was noted during her investigation that the abuse she alleged from her ex-husband Leo seemed to be very real and well documented over the years, leading to Leo not being able to see his children for over a year, with this causing the two to separate, which is when Elaine's mind began to deteriorate. She began believing that people were following her and were going to kill her, with this fear of people eventually shifting to a fear of aliens, as she claimed to have seen them on numerous occasions, believing they were following her. Because of this fear, she refused to let her children out of her sight, not even allowing her own parents to look after them, causing her to become so attached to these children that she genuinely began to believe that they were all one entity, which made things incredibly concerning when she became suicidal and eventually attempted to take her own life. Despite Leo's more than troubled history, he had supposedly turned his life around in the years leading to this footage, and was eventually allowed to start visiting the children on a limited capacity. And seeing the children and seeing the way their mother was behaving, he began to grow incredibly concerned, and eventually attempted to gain full custody. And it was this bitter custody battle that seemed to be the ultimate factor that led to Elaine ending the lives of her children.
God's taking care
Klasika.
of you. Be protected by God. Thank God. Thank you. Because there's no way I could have it with you.
Elaine Campione would be charged with 2 counts of murder and would eventually be sentenced to life in prison, with a possibility of parole after 25 years. Today, she's held in a minimum security prison, where she's free to leave once every weekend to attend church and other functions.
Ježišmarja, ona prostě po 25 letech vypadne z vězení, možná i dřív. Ale ještě o víkendech si může jít na nákup, to je šílený. Tomu bych řekl nespravedlivý trest. No tak když je mentál, tak nevím, asi to je těžký, no.
As the very next day, he suffered a severe mental breakdown, the result of which was captured partially across several video recordings that later appeared on YouTube.
Já asi znám.
This is the story of his
Jo,
rampage.
to je ten, co říkal, že je Ježíš. A přijel minimálně jednoho člověka. Jo, Británii, ano. Jo, pamatuju. On má takovou plešku, on je jednoduše zapamatovatelný.
Inside the car, the owner just so happened to have 2 cameras, one being a standard dash cam and the other facing inside the vehicle.
A to videjko je na YouTube. No. Viděl jsem jeho obličej, ale tu druhou stranu ne. Ta asi není veřejná. Ty jde ale strašně rychle, to je vidět.
Just at a glance, it's obvious that Gavin is completely unhinged. For some reason, he was utterly filled with rage, ripping off the rearview mirror and yelling obscenities and incomprehensible threats at no one in particular.
V jeden moment přejede člověka. Ty on se páše, to se do... Ty on jde tak 80 minimálně. Ale...
As he reaches speeds that have been estimated to be anywhere from 85 miles an hour to well over 120.
85 miles. 136. Tyjo. To je šílený, jakoby, že to dokáže v obci, no. No. To je jedno, šílený prostě. Jakože slyšel jsem od nějakých lidí, že jezdí reálně touhle s tou rychlostí v noci, když ve městě jako skoro nikdo není, ale nevím ani, jestli se tomu dá věřit, jako tady samozřejmě jo, protože to nějaký někdo, asi odborník, hádám to jako přepočítal, ale jeden týpek mě řekl, že prostě hej, já jako když jsem naštvaný, jo, tak je prostě, že když je naštvaný, tak jede jako hodně rychle a že prostě 200, ale ve městě, ne na dálnici.
But somehow, despite countless close calls, every time he avoids collision, at least for the time being.
No, než srazí jednoho člověka. Ty ale to, když vidíš tohle člověka, no.
In an instant, Gavin smashes the vehicle into a brick home at full speed, with the impact being devastating. And yet somehow, through the destruction, Gavin was not only still alive, but completely unharmed, and also completely unfazed. He pulled himself from the wreckage and immediately turned his attention to a woman driving nearby, and within moments he had forced his way into the vehicle, and was behind the wheel once again, continuing this deranged driving spree, until once again he crashed. And much like the initial collision, he survived, walking away unscathed before turning his attention to another home. In pursuit of stealing his third vehicle, he grabbed a nearby concrete slab and began to smash through the home's doors, bloodying his hand in the process.
Ale kde je ten moment, kdy přejede?
Entered 2 children, one of which was 5 years old,
Nebo
and the other
nepřejel?
wasn't even a year. Gavin approached the terrified family, yelling and demanding that the mother give up her car keys, telling her that he was Jesus and that, because I'm Jesus, I will kill you if you don't give me the keys. And without hesitation, she did as he said. Gavin then went to each member of the family, and with his injured hand, he drew crosses on their forehead, out of his own blood, before taking off with his third stolen car.
Chcípl. Aha, tak.
Once again, Gavin was driving manically, though this time he was even more reckless, crashing into a brick wall and then a cop car. Before setting his sights,
no, v Británii policajti nenosí zbraně, takže můžou udělat maximálně. Prosím, pane, zastavte, prosím. To je šílený. V Británii takový bordel, tyjo. Tam bych jako teďka nechtěl si žít, no, nebo kromě toho, že ti tam ukradnou telefon a povolejte. Tak policajti tam, že prej nenosí zbraně standardně, jenom když opravdu je nějaký nebezpečí, že někdo zavolá, je tady nebezpečný ozbrojený člověk, tak vezmou zbraně, ale jinak u sebe zbraně nemají. A v červnu taky mají speciálně LGBT auta, to je fakt jako super, jako za mě úplně skvělý, jako prostě v červnu LGBT policejní auta a být neozbrojený jako policajt za mě ideální.
Leaving him lying there with devastating injuries. Gavin quickly exited the vehicle and found the man lying motionless on the ground, prompting him to shout, "I've killed him. I've killed the devil." Minutes later, Gavin would crash yet another car into yet another home. Though this time,
Ty kolikátý to je auto? Čtvrtý, pátý? Co to je? To je policejní záběr? Aha, to je deškem, jsem si říkal, to. Proč je ta deškem tak přiblížená, ale tam je bez tak nějaký logo. Aha, koukni, oni nemají ani zbraně, oni mají Zeus jenom. Nebo minimálně nevytahují pravou zbraň, chápeš? To je šílený. Představ si, že je ozbrojený, co uděláš? Zeus.
Was 87-year-old Terry Radford, a retired teacher whose injuries were catastrophic, with the man passing away soon after. According to his family, Terry was an incredible grandfather, father, and son. The footage is genuinely horrifying, but what's most shocking of all is the fact that any of this was even allowed to happen. As stated previously, this was Gavin's very first day out of prison, and based on the behavior he exhibited whilst in prison, he really should have never been released. Gavin was granted an early release in March of 2019 for charges based around burglary, but just as he was set to be freed, it was discovered that he had submitted an adulterated drug test, which caused his case to be re-examined and resulted in his release being postponed. In response, Gavin lost his mind. Later that month, he assaulted a prison guard before spraying him with an unknown liquid that contained bleach, before proceeding to set his cell on fire and attacking another officer with a piece of wood. Due to his actions, Gavin was placed into an isolated cell, where less than a week later, he started yet another fire, and when an officer entered his cell to put it out, Gavin struck them in the head and pulled out a plastic knife, threatening to slash him, stating that it would be a thrill to kill him. Gavin's stay in prison clearly hadn't rehabilitated him. In fact, it seemed to have made him more violent than ever before, and more mentally disturbed. Though shockingly, despite all of these additional crimes, Colin's release would go on to be approved less than 2 weeks later, with Gavin being set free on April 18th. And within just 24 hours, Terry Radford would be brutally killed. Gavin was sentenced to 21 years in prison, and during his trial it was revealed that no drugs were found in his system. And instead, this all seemed to be the result of some sort of psychotic episode that just so happened to be captured on camera in one of YouTube's darkest videos.
No. RIP děda. Nebudu kecat. Window shopping.
Every time I see those tats, they get progressively worse.
Yeah, bro, and I gotta live with it. How do you reckon I go looking in the mirror each day?
5-10 minut. Let's go. Starší verze Firefoxu. Mám gula vše.
It's just Will and Steamy jeans. Why do you reckon I'm getting dressed in the van? I just have the floor on top.
Have that buckle on, dude.
Wait!
Like that. The chest piece.
They're called chest hairs.
Come on. Hey, there's something about the fit that's so good. Are you going to stay here?
I don't know. Just got a question out here. Yes. I want the house to look a bit more brighter. Yeah. So I decided to go out and do some window shopping.
The clogs aren't for sale.
Oh, I don't want the clogs. Let's cut the bull, boy. I'm here for the window.
The window?
I'm window shopping.
Oh, that's good, man.
How much do you want for it?
Like the window, what are you going to put in it?
The window?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you can have it, man.
I can?
So if you take this off, I'm not going to have a window.
I'm window shopping.
This?
Yep.
Nah.
Did someone buy this before me?
No, it's with the shop.
Every man's got a price. How much do you want for it? It's great. It's perfect size.
What am I going to put there?
I'll do 100.
It'll probably cost you $2,000 for the glass.
I'll do 3 for you right now. I've got a couple blokes that can come pick it up.
But I ain't going to have a window.
You can buy a new window with the money I give you.
Fuck, man. Nah, it's not for sale, man.
I didn't know you guys sold windows.
No, we didn't.
If you come out here, I'll show you one way we'll take it out where you won't get affected by wind too much.
Rules say would shoot me.
I'll get some boys to come pick it up. Ross Buckley, have a good one.
No worries, man. Hey, what are you doing?
Is this not 342?
Yeah, but what the f*** are you doing? Don't take the window out, man.
It was 342, wasn't it?
342, yeah.
Some lunatic.
Yeah, Ross told us that
No.
we're taking the window.
No f***ing way, man.
There might be a bit of noise, if that's okay.
What the f*** am I going to put there? He's nuts, man.
Do you want to talk to him?
No, I told him.
He's already paid us
Take what?
to remove the window.
You're not taking me window.
What's our boss going to say?
What
We've already got
am
them.
I going to say?
I didn't know you guys sold windows.
Oh, we don't. I'm a fucking shoe repairer.
I'll get Ross on the line.
Man, the either on drugs or there's something.
Are we taking the window or not?
No.
Are you sure?
Man, this is my shop. For fuck's sake. Fuck. The bloke's nuts.
Steve, Ross is saying he can have the window.
No, I didn't, man. Who's this?
It's Ross.
Yeah, Ross who, man?
How are you, man? You said I could have it?
I didn't say you could have it.
You said if I give you a blowjob.
Yeah, man, yourself. He said if I give him a blowjob.
I heard that.
He said if he gives me a blowjob, he'll give it to me for free.
You need help, man.
Look, I don't know if we've unraveled something. We don't have to tell anyone about what just happened.
We can just take the window and go.
I would be too embarrassed to f***ing tell anyone. Fuck.
Steve said...
Hey, Steve said fuck off.
Steve, you literally gave me a blowjob.
He's fucked.
So, we're not taking the window?
We can come back in half an hour if...
He's stealing the f***ing thing.
Well, he's not stealing it. He's already paid us.
Well, I didn't give him a f***ing blowjob.
He said on the phone when he first spoke to you that he wanted to do some window shopping.
Yeah, window shopping. Not my f***ing window. If this window's gone, I will f***ing sue you.
Oh, well,
I will literally sue you.
We don't want
Whoever
any
takes the
trouble.
f***ing window will be sued. This is f***ing bullshit.
It's a nice window. I can see why he wanted it.
Why? It's a fuck. What's wrong with it?
It's a good size.
What is it, 20 mil?
So don't take the window?
No.
Okay.
You just take it, man. I'll f***ing come and haunt you. What the f*** am I going to put in there if you take it?
Oh, that's your problem, not ours.
It's not my problem, man. If this window goes, I'll be after you.
Us
Seriously.
or Ross?
Whoever takes it. Why the f*** would I f***ing tell you to take it out?
What about the top one?
No, nothing.
We could take that one.
What for?
Well, he wanted this size, and that one's similar size. We'd just have to get 3 of them.
Go and f***ing tell him to go and f*** himself. Use a f***ing mental.
Us or Ross?
Use for listening to him. Fuck.
It's a bit of a love triangle.
It's not a love triangle. I didn't f*** him off. He didn't f*** me off. It's a f***ing joke. Take their windows.
Well, their window's for sale.
It was f***ing this.
Why did Ross buy it?
He didn't. He did not pay anything for it.
He didn't buy the window.
No.
We've already got the money.
For what?
The window.
We could call him up and ask him to pay now.
I don't want the f***ing window moved. Don't you understand that? I'll come round to your house and I'll take your front door because I like it.
It's not for sale, our front door.
It's not for sale. Neither is this. He's paid nothing. Don't take my f***ing window. Somebody walked past, he came in and he goes, I'm window shopping. Sweet, you can have a look at whatever's in the shop.
Yes.
And he goes, no, I want your window.
Oh no.
Because that's window shopping.
Window shopping. Serious?
Thank God I was here. I just come back from there.
Yeah.
Why? What? Bought the window?
Bought the window, yes.
Do you deal with this very often?
Most of these shops don't sell any windows. Steve, he's just got a question.
What the f*** are you doing? No, I don't want to get lunch next week with you, man. Whatever you're f***ing on, stop it.
Should I replace him for a tally?
Whatever you're taking, f***ing stop it.
So you don't want to get lunch?
Man, I don't f***ing know you.
I do know you. You sold me a window.
I f***ing didn't sell you a window, man. Where's the f***ing proof?
We handshook.
Man, I didn't show
Ty
you
jo,
f***ing hand
ti tam
here.
museli stát přes půl hodiny, ty.
Fuck off.
They're just customers.
That's not a customer, that's a fuckwit.
We didn't mean to unravel anything, like, but we'll go.
What are you doing? Still here? Remove it.
Madness.
Is he the owner of this shop?
Who? No, he wanted to buy a window.
Something must be wrong here.
He said, I'm window shopping, and Steve said, yeah, what do you want? And he said, this one.
I said, you can't have any of the shoes. Nothing about a window.
No, window shopping is not that you take this glass off. You don't enter, you just look what is there. That's it. Like you look what you like and what you don't.
Well, I didn't even think a shoe repair would sell windows.
We don't.
We don't. How much did he pay?
$582
Look
for the removal, not the window.
No.
What about like a gentleman's agreement and a 50-50 split?
And easy, I'll do it myself.
He's calling again.
Do you want to talk to Ross?
Yeah, give me. Hello?
Hello? Who's this?
This is Marsha. I want to know, what shop window did you buy?
I don't want that anymore. Steve was acting weird around me.
Exactly. No one says the window.
Steve wants to get rid of it, I'll take it.
No, he is saying he didn't sell the window. Simple as that.
I told you, that idiot that wanted to buy me window, these blokes turned up to take it.
Yeah, and I don't want him
to serious. Yeah, shit, man.
Shit, dude.
You fucking shocked me.
We didn't mean to shock you. We're sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
This one.
Okay.
Yeah, look.
The double.
I didn't know there was crazy out there.
We've got signs that just say window not for sale. This must happen a few times.
That is just so bizarre.
Does this happen
To by
often?
byla mega obchodní taktika.
I've never window shopped and
když
said to
asi by to
someone, oh, I'll
nekoupili.
take that. It's like having an acid trip and the world's opened up.
Do you know what else will open up? Your shop when you get rid of the window. I can't do scenes with Nick without just pissing myself.
I literally had to turn around for a good 30 seconds and just get it all out. I've turned around and just gone.
The pedestrian.
Funniest thing is, if we went to other stores and said, hey, is this window available? They just kind of go like, yeah, no, it's not, mate. The moment that two blokes rock up to take the window off, he goes, hang on a second, this guy was actually legit.
Bugger.
Need a hand?
Really?
Need a hand?
You just did it again.
You don't need a hand?
Ugh. And again, 3 times.
Okay.
You're doing a nice thing, but then it kind of gets cancelled out because you're kind of putting me down by saying, do you need a hand?
A shoulder operation?
No, I've just got a sore pinky, but...
Do you want me to help you on that?
Yes, please.
Need a hand or you're right?
How's it taste? That low-hanging fruit. Out of all things.
Ah.
Yeah.
No, I mean genuinely.
You'd never believe how I did it.
Tell me how you did it.
Nah, you wouldn't believe me.
Is it one of those really misadventure type things?
Oh, you'd never believe it.
Are you going to send me away without telling me?
Oh, you just wouldn't believe it, so what's the point? I was jerking off.
You're going for it.
I'll shake your hand. Oh, you silly bastard, don't do that. Keep shagging, yeah?
Yep. You want a hand?
Well, I'd f***ing love a hand. Jesus Christ, get out of here. Bloody hell.
I'll hit him with the how are you, big boy? He's either going to think you're hitting on him or you're buying a window. Either way, it's weird.
Pop out here for a sec, shorty. I'll take it. Take what? Well, I've just been doing a bit of window shopping. I'll buy it. I've caught a shark and it's in my bathtub right now. So I need a shitload of glass and a shitload of silicone. It's about 15 of them. Perfect. So how much you want for it?
The window.
Yeah.
You need me to call you someone to come pick you up?
Pick me up?
Take you somewhere. You're the one who's walking into somebody's shop saying, oh, I'm going to buy the window off you. What fucking shit is going through your brain, dude?
It's the sharks.
I understand.
Yeah, so what's your price?
It's not for sale.
What do you want me to do with the sharks?
I don't care what the you do with your sharks. Just asking if you need someone to come pick you up, because at the moment you're acting a little bit off your rocker. The window's staying where the window is.
Oh, well, I'll get some boys to come have a look.
Get some boys to look, but the window's not moving anywhere.
Do you mind if I move some of the junk out the way so I can check the scratches?
I'm being serious. Do you need someone to come pick you up? Are you out on day release? Are you taking your pills today?
You're the first person to say
Are you
yes.
currently endangering yourself? Because I could organise you a psychiatric hold.
I just need to organise someone to pick up the window.
We can get you a psychiatric hold. It's not a hard thing to do.
It's a fucking nice window.
It's
Perfect
a window.
size. It's a nice window.
Do you understand
nice
how much beyond normal you've gone? Do you normally take pills for this?
I just need a window, man.
You don't normally take any meds? No, we don't hear the voices?
What do you reckon a shark eats?
Shark eats fish.
How do you reckon they sleep?
Don't they have like a secondary brain?
I don't know, mate. It's just a shark. I got no idea. If I know, mate. I'll get some boys to come pick it up, yeah? Keep shagging, alright? Are you ready, things? I'm the biggest tripper. Having you rock up is just going to top it off. He's going to go, what the f*** is happening today?
If you don't f*** up right now, I'm going to call the cops.
Wait, sorry?
What are you doing to my window?
I got a call to remove a window.
You hear the f*** up right now. If you have anything to do with that f***wit,
I got a call from a bloke saying, can you remove a window?
walk away right now. Unhook that from my window. There was some weird dude earlier on today. Some high as a f***ing kite.
He sounded weird on the phone, but
So some guy obviously wanted to take a window for no reason.
I apologise.
He is a mental case.
Mate, I didn't even know you guys sold windows, to be honest.
We don't sell windows.
Maybe put a sign up or something saying the window's not for sale.
How was he going to pay for it?
No, this is the mental case. This is the bloke.
I gotcha.
Start walking that way right now.
Okay.
Or the cops are f***ing coming.
Alright, chill
And
out.
they will arrest the shit out of you.
I've been called for a job.
You are the bloke!
Nerozuměl
He
si
thought
moc
I was you. You just got closed, and he was the same guy.
Aha, on si, no to chápu, on si asi myslel jsem, chápu. Jestli si spletl, že to je stejný člověk, tak Fortune versus ISIS. OK.
The year is 2014, and ISIS is the largest terrorist organization in the modern world. Known for their series of devastating attacks, they are feared by both people and governments all around the globe. Through the power of the internet, they shared their propaganda and recruited vulnerable individuals from virtually every corner of the planet. However, at the height of their power, a group of hackers named Anonymous made it their mission to combat them and save innocent lives while doing so. From deadly explosions to trolling and exposing members of terrorist organizations, to 4chan Special Task Force being born, to even working with the FBI and counter-terrorists. This is the story of 4chan's fight against terrorism.
4chan versus ISIS. Ani nevím, kde bojuje ISIS.
Throughout the early 2010s, terrorist organizations began to harness the power of the internet, ramping up their recruitment by targeting vulnerable individuals in hopes they could manipulate them to do their bidding. They did this by launching campaigns across many social media platforms, such as Telegram, Ask.fm, Facebook, Instagram, and their most successful platform, Twitter. This website had become the centerpiece of ISIS recruitment efforts, as
Myslím, že na Twitteru jsem
all
je
around
viděl,
the world,
no.
and Twitter had difficulty finding and banning all of their accounts. On top of this, it was much easier for them to hack Twitter accounts, that tons of regular people were joining ISIS. By doing this, they were able to trick more individuals than ever before to join their ranks. After wild successes in recruiting people from around the globe, this became a key component for not only ISIS, but terrorist organizations everywhere. It literally allowed them to passively gather soldiers from all around the world, and at the time, ISIS was gaining members at an alarming rate, indoctrinating people from the comfort of their own homes. It was clear that ISIS was quickly becoming a global organization, and only a few began to take notice. However, Western journalists began to document all of the strange pro-ISIS accounts that seemed to have sprung up on Twitter. After a thorough look, they found a whole network of sleeper agents throughout the entire platform. A lot of these accounts were spamming pro-ISIS religious propaganda across the internet. Of course, they found that most of these accounts belonged to real individuals and were hacked by the cyber terrorist divisions, which further reached every corner of social media sites.
The story of how a group that we'll refer to here as ISIS has been able to raise its profile and bolster its fighting ranks is due in large part to the scope and sophistication of its online media operations. ISIS appears to have 4 or possibly more main media outlets. These accounts can attract a few hundred to many thousands of followers. To further spread their Twitter posts, followers use popular hashtags like #WorldCup and USA, so their tweets end up on other Twitter feeds that will be potentially seen by millions of people not necessarily looking for jihadi content.
While governments worldwide did little to stop the spread of ISIS's online recruitment, people across the globe were falling into their trap, and it was clear that someone had to do something to combat it. But then, the unexpected would happen. 4chan's hacker group Anonymous would lose control of one of their Twitter accounts, and an ISIS hacker would tweet a pro-ISIS combat video depicting an assault near Baghdad. Quickly, Anonymous was able to regain control of the account, and they were absolutely furious with ISIS, so they decided to take matters into their own hands and released a video to the public.
To the citizens of the world, we are Anonymous. The events currently transpiring in Iraq have made us as a collective re-evaluate our priorities in regards to recent operations. The Iraqi people have gone through almost 2 weeks of sheer terror most of us will never know nor experience. We are held by a code of honor to protect those who are defenseless, both in the cyber world and the real world. These savages who have no religion or morality are bent on burning everything in their path, killing and pillaging as they go. They must be stopped. Several days ago, their electronic division assumed control of one of our Twitter accounts, claiming it for themselves and releasing several graphic photos of their assault near Baghdad. These tweets have since been deleted. We sincerely apologize to the Twitter followers who had to witness this without warning. To the state of Qatar, Turkey, and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, you will not escape our wrath. Evidence shows your continued support and supply to ISIS. If this does not promptly stop, we will be forced to unleash our entire legion against your pathetic excuse of a cybersecurity. And to the United States, another attempt at fueling your military-industrial complex for the sake of security and democracy will be grounds for our complete assault against your virtual government infrastructure. You have been warned. We are Anonymous. We are Legion. We do not forgive. We do not forget. Expect us.
ISIS was quite literally everything that Anonymous hated in this world. From their extreme ideology to their mass killings of civilians, Anonymous knew that they had to do whatever they could to put an end to this madness. So they decided to begin their fight where ISIS gets their unseen strength, their recruitment. If Anonymous could put an end to ISIS's online recruitment, then they would lose their hidden global power and would no longer have their steady flow of volunteer soldiers lurking inside countries around the world. #Operation ISIS would then be born, and Anonymous would get to work systematically pursuing these social media accounts to take them down. When they found an account that was clearly compromised or had ISIS propaganda, they would then spam report it so that the moderators would see it and take it down. Anonymous also compiled a list of accounts for the public so that more people than ever would be combining their forces to spam report all these propaganda accounts on social media. Because Anonymous has thousands of members from around the globe, the barrage of reports would quickly result in bans. On top of this, there were users looking for these accounts around the clock. As soon as the American Anons headed to sleep, the Europeans would get to work. Then later, the Russians, and even Australians. It was literally a global movement. ISIS could barely keep up, and their army of propaganda accounts was rapidly depleting. From Twitter to Instagram to even Facebook, Anonymous was able to take down hundreds of thousands of these accounts, saving countless amounts of lives while doing so. Even though Operation ISIS seemed to be going well, everything would take a turn for the worst on the 7th of January 2015. The time is 11:30 a.m. in Paris, France, and two masked individuals armed with automatic rifles would enter a building owned by the French magazine Charlie Hebdo. The gunmen opened fire on innocent civilians, injuring 11 and killing 12. After the gunmen fled the scene, a manhunt was launched to find them. It would take nearly 2 days, but with the help of Anonymous, French special forces were able to track them down, and after a long firefight, they were able to eliminate them successfully. However, during this time, the attack was followed by several others, creating mass panic and civil unrest in France. After police raided the homes of these attackers, they found out that they were terrorist foot soldiers recruited by ISIS. Along with this, they discovered that Charlie Hebdo was specifically targeted because some of the cartoons they released mocked ISIS religious beliefs. Even though it was just harmless jokes, ISIS thought differently and made many people within that organization pay with their lives. This created an uproar within France, and millions of people, along with 40 world leaders, would all come together for a vigil in honor of the dead. But it wasn't just that. It was a movement where people gathered in unity against ISIS. But these demonstrations not only occurred in France, they happened worldwide. Because of the attacks, Anonymous released another video.
Greetings, citizens of the world. We are Anonymous. Operation ISIS continues. First, we need to clarify a few things. We are Muslims, Christians, Jews. We are hackers, crackers, hacktivists, fishers, agents, spies, or just the guy from next door. We are students, administrators, workers, clerks, unemployed, rich, poor. We are young or old, gay or straight. We wear smart clothes or rugs. We are hedonists, ascetics, joyriders or activists. We come from all races, countries, religions, and ethnicity. United as one, divided by zero. We are Anonymous. Remember, the terrorists that are calling themselves Islamic State, ISIS, are not Muslims. ISIS, we will hunt you, take down your sites, accounts, emails, and expose you. From now on, no safe place for you online. You will be treated like a virus, and we are the cure. We own the internet. We are Anonymous. We are Legion. We do not forgive. We do not forget. Expect us.
Leaders of Anonymous declared war on the violent Islamic extremists. And with people around the globe by their side, more people than ever were now fully committed to destroying any online presence ISIS had. So they continued to report and destroy accounts that had any association with these terrorists. And they were making some real progress. But some members of Anonymous wanted to take things to the next level, and they felt like they could do so much more. Really, the problem was that even though governments were good at launching complex attacks across the globe, they were virtually useless in managing ISIS's vast presence in cyberspace. One user in particular...
Moment. Okay. Let's go.
With the screen name of Sebastian Dante Alexander, decided to gather some of Anonymous's hackers, who were extremely passionate about taking down ISIS, and even included some ex-members of the US military and former intelligence agents, along with IT and media professionals. They created a new hacker organization, which could also be seen as a subgroup within Anonymous, called GhostSec. This organization had one goal, to conduct open cyber warfare against the Islamic State and obliterate any other terrorist group online. Since GhostSec had specific goals to accomplish, and had a more organized structure than Anonymous, they were able to get a lot done in a short period. After hacking numerous social media accounts and intercepting intelligence, GhostSec was able to track down potential ISIS operatives. After they found these individuals, they would hand them over to the FBI or anti-terrorist organizations, who would take care of the rest. At one point, GhostSec even intercepted a terrorist plot in Tunisia, where they were planning a bombing in the Humat market, a crowded area where many locals and tourists visit. GhostSec ended up reporting them to intelligence operatives within the United States, and soon after, they were able to make 17 arrests, which extinguished their plan altogether. But this wasn't the only information GhostSec was able to recover. According to some of the communications they intercepted, there was to be a massive ISIS attack in New York City on the 4th of July, also known as US Independence Day, which was only a few days after the attack in Tunisia was meant to happen. Due to the secrecy behind this operation, details on what ISIS was planning are scarce. However, after receiving the information, the FBI apprehended over 10 people, ending their plot in New York City for the time being. Although GhostSec may have won the fight, ISIS told their followers to carry out any violence they could on behalf of their group, but luckily, there was nothing extreme that ended up happening after. In both cases, GhostSec communicated to a man named Michael Smith II, a counter-terrorist analyst who worked with government agencies to destroy violent extremism. This had one unforeseen effect. It established a real connection between GhostSec and the legal side of counterterrorism. Because of this, the face of GhostSec would eventually change into something almost entirely different. They were an organization that even without the unlimited resources government agencies had, they were still able to do the impossible and save countless amounts of lives in the process. And what would happen next would be one of the biggest tragedies that modern history has ever had to endure.
Cože? To bude jedno to bombování koncertu, nebo jak to bylo, ne?
The usual din of a Paris Friday night was silenced first by gunshots.
V Paříži mají tolik zábavy, že to člověk nestíhá ani. Který případ to je? Tak kdyby se bavilo o Česku, no to člověk ví hnedka, ale tady v Paříži to je každý rok, tak já nevím, no, to je těžký. Ale je to smutný,
They, whomever they might be, reportedly armed with Kalashnikovs and possibly grenades. And police now confirmed included 2 suicide bombers.
On the 13th of November 2015, Paris experienced its most devastating terror attack in the country's history. A group of coordinated militants attacked multiple high-density areas, aiming to create as much destruction as possible. These devastating attacks became worldwide news, and countries all over the globe grieved with France. From President Barack Obama to even Vladimir Putin, almost every large country, despite their differences, came together in solidarity with France. Citizens would get involved as well, holding vigils in every main city around the world. It was clear France was at war, and many leaders of the world were willing to help put an end to this needless suffering. Because of all this, France, along with the United States and Russia, would then lead a multi-year bombing campaign in hopes they would destroy the group responsible for this. The Paris bombings not only angered Anonymous, but they were absolutely furious and willing to do anything it took to put an end to the radicalized ISIS for good, so they declared an all-out war.
Yesterday, Friday, November 13th, 2015, our country, France, was attacked in Paris at around 10 p.m. by multiple terrorist attempts claimed by the Islamic State. These attacks cannot remain unpunished, hence the reason why the Anonymous from all over the world will hunt you down. Yes, you vermin that are killing innocent people. We will track you down, as we have been able to do since the attacks of Charlie Hebdo. Therefore, be prepared for a massive reaction from Anonymous. Be advised that we will track you and will not let anything go. We are going to launch the biggest operation ever against you. Expect many cyber attacks. Know it. War has been declared.
This video would quickly get millions of views, and now Anonymous had users from around the world backing them up in the war. In a single day, they managed to take down over 5.5 thousand Twitter accounts, and they even leaked the personal information of countless terrorist sleeper agents. Most of these exposed individuals were instantly arrested and taken in for further questioning. Anonymous and GhostSec were slowly but surely eradicating ISIS just by using the power of the internet.
Make no mistake, hashtag Anonymous is at war with hashtag Daesh. We won't stop opposing hashtag Islamic State. We are also better hackers. Hashtag Operation ISIS.
These actions deeply angered ISIS, and in Telegram groups, they promised a graphic violent end to both Anonymous and GhostSec. However, ISIS was dealing with some internal problems that they began to sort out. Some of their soldiers didn't understand basic cybersecurity practices and were continuously getting hacked, which would leak their intel to these cyber groups. Because of this, the cyber divisions of ISIS trained their soldiers on how to prevent getting hacked, like not clicking links or trusting anyone with information online. This would bolster their cyber defenses, which would make it much harder for anyone who wanted to hack them. However, this wouldn't stop Anonymous and GhostSec, so they kept at it. While Anonymous was still focused on taking down social media accounts, GhostSec took things even further. They decided that another way they could fight was if they went after one of their most important assets, their vast network of cryptocurrency that had been given to them by private donors. If they could take their crypto away, then it would be nearly impossible to fund everything they were paying for. So after some digging around, GhostSec managed to uncover a whole series of cryptocurrency wallets associated with the group. And after hacking important targets, GhostSec was able to recover millions of dollars of Bitcoin, all taken from these militant wallets. While doing so, they even scoured the dark web, searching for and promptly shutting down several Bitcoin collecting sites, where the Islamic State collected their private donations from anyone around the world. They didn't just take down the donation sites though, they also went after every site they owned, such as recruitment, communication, and propaganda sites. The members of GhostSec literally did everything in their power to eliminate any digital assets that ISIS owned. They even ended up trolling them and turned one of their websites into a parody ad for Prozac and Viagra.
Too much ISIS. Enhance your calm. Too many people are into this ISIS stuff. Please gaze upon this lovely ad so we can upgrade our infrastructure to give you ISIS content you all so desperately crave.
But ISIS wouldn't go down easily, and their cyber division was working hard to secure their assets by tracking down the members of GhostSec and Anonymous that were attacking them. It was absolute digital warfare. By the end of 2015, GhostSec had become a notable group in the war against terror. Even though they were respected, they knew that continuing to work as vigilantes while not operating under the law was risky, and if ISIS found them, they would be in grave danger. Because of this, some of the members decided that they would form a legitimate company that would work with the government organizations more effectively. So they founded the Ghost Security Group. Today, they have their own website, and while I haven't found much about them, an anonymous source tells me they work directly with the Department of Homeland Security in the United States of America. However, some of the users didn't want to work with the feds, so they would stay in GhostSec, refusing to operate legitimately. Even though the group took a massive hit, they would slowly recover some of their lost members, leading us to one of the biggest events in this story. Anonymous knew that ISIS used fear to control the people of the world alongside major organizations and governments. Unsurprisingly, this was actually working extraordinarily well. Because of this, Anonymous decided that on December 11, 2015, they would plan coordinated protests across the globe, and they would also flood social media with Photoshop pictures in an attempt to troll ISIS. The idea is simple. By making ISIS angry, there's a higher chance that one of them will slip up, and they can either take down their social media accounts or report them to the police. So Anonymous began spamming Twitter with memes, in hopes it would offend members of ISIS.
We milk the goats, even if they are male.
See Alice in Pie.
Just doing my part. Happy hashtag ISIS trolling day everybody. It's training trolls for hashtag dashbags today.
The memes continued to roll in, and it was clear some of the members of ISIS were beginning to take notice. One user was even able to pull the Twitter data and found that over 30,000 people used the Troll ISIS Day hashtag. But it didn't just stop there. There would also be protests from Europe, to America, to Asia, to even Australia. It was literally a global movement against terrorist organizations. And at the end of the day, almost everyone there just wanted global peace. Although Anonymous was able to catch more members of ISIS, it wasn't clear how much of an impact this event made on the war. Throughout the following years, ISIS was still a major target, but they were beginning to lose steam. At this time, the legal government of Syria, run by Bashar al-Assad, with the help of their Russian allies and a US-led coalition, was mounting a devastating ground campaign against the Islamic State, retaking city after city. The effort was bolstered by users on 4chan, which I talk about in this video. Regardless, the campaign was successful, and by 2019, the Islamic Caliphate had largely ceased to exist. But this wasn't quite the end of ISIS's influence. In January 2021, the Ghost Sect leader, Sebastian Dante Alexander, came to the rest of the group with a series of chat logs. Through these, he was able to locate an ISIS camp, as well as reveal their plan to conduct a bomb attack somewhere in Iraq. He took it upon himself to inform the relevant authorities, although they would do nothing to help. But when the day finally came, the militants made a mistake and accidentally blew up the bomb before they got to the site. Sebastian took to the public and expressed his annoyance for the intelligence agencies he told. According to my anonymous source, this was the last time they had ever targeted an operation against ISIS, ending 4chan cyberwar on terrorism for the time being.
Zmizení Alexe z 4chanu.
Do nothing to help. But when the day finally came, the militants made a mistake and accidentally blew up the bomb before they got to the site. Sebastian took to the public and expressed his annoyance for the intelligence agencies he told. According to my anonymous source, this was the last time they had ever targeted an operation against ISIS, ending 4chan cyberwar on terrorism for the time being.
Kdo je Alex? Za chvilku se dozvíme, jestli to načtem.
The year is 2013, and an anonymous user on 4chan posted the coordinates of an abandoned industrial area in Tennessee. The user then promised that whoever was brave enough to venture out to the warehouse would receive a prize. After some time had passed, one user named Alex decided to travel out there, and what he found was absolutely horrifying. Little did 4chan know that these posts would spark one of the most terrifying unsolved internet mysteries of all time. From dead bodies to a potential serial killer, to a dark secret to even the internet working together to solve this mystery. This is the full story of the disappearance of a 4chan user named Alex. Our story begins on April 24th of 2013, when an anonymous user would post to 4chan's X, also known as their paranormal board. This is what they said.
By this rubble, your prize awaits, Tennesseeans. Park nearby and walk to this point for the secret. It's under plastic at this point. Good luck.
This post also contained coordinates and a map showing exactly where the supposed prize was located. The area appears to be at an abandoned industrial zone in Elizabethton, Tennessee, with the coordinates leading us right inside the entrance of warehouse number 3. Users on the thread were deeply interested. They wanted to know what would happen if one of them ventured out there, and what this mysterious prize really was. Some of the initial users thought it could be anything from a dead body to a troll leaving a dildo. But one thing was for sure, users would keep messaging in the thread in hopes that one of them would travel there to see what it was. About 18 minutes would pass, and the anonymous user would post once again.
No one shall claim the prize. Time to try other websites.
This anonymous poster would quickly become known as TQAD, taken from the unique ID within their post in the thread. 30 more minutes would pass, and one brave user replied to TQAD.
Russians, scamming Russians. Give me a hint, and I may go.
Other users would begin to comment their opinions, some even warning this anon.
Someone just send the cops there saying it's a body and watch what happens. It could be a bomb, a body, or a dragon dildo.
Then, only a few seconds after this comment, the thread would change forever. 2QAD would begin responding to some of the questions, starting by giving users on 4chan a hint of what the prize could be.
It is warm. No cops here. Someone coming for the prize? Little friend, fly away. Why is no one coming? See?
This picture would startle even some of the bravest of users, and 4chan was worried that 2QAD might actually be some twisted murderer. 4chan had to find out, so they decided to reverse image search the photo to see if it was posted anywhere else before. But of course, the first time it appeared online was in this thread, so it was likely that 2QAD took the picture themselves. Things were now beginning to get real. Less than 10 minutes later, 2QAD would post once again.
I am angry you are not here.
Again, 2QAD posted another picture 4chan couldn't find anywhere else online. This time, it was of a decomposing corpse. 4chan was mortified, and it was clear they had run into someone who was truly psychotic. When 4chan asked if the body was the prize, 2QAD would quickly respond.
My friend moves. My friend is not the prize. Plastic prize.
This new picture would be different from the others. Instead of being outside, it seemed to be taken inside the warehouse near some rubble. 4chan knew that whatever was inside that trash bag had to be something truly terrifying. However, 2Q80 would continue to post.
I've had my friend for a long time now. Not what matters today. I need people to come.
2Q80 then posted 2 more pictures. The first one appeared to be in a dark cellar, which is almost impossible to make out. The next picture contained a handwritten note, which said,
"Please come 24th of April, 2013.
After, 2Q80 would then make one final post.
Singing tonight, someone come.
This would give 4chan a bit of information. From the hand shown in the picture, we now know that 2Q80 is most likely a middle-aged white male. And since he had some type of flashlight out, it confirmed that he had to be inside the warehouse. After sending this last message, 2Q80 would disappear, leaving 4chan to discuss what had happened. 4chan knew that whatever the prize was, it wasn't worth it at all, and they decided that all of this was most likely one of 2 things. Number 1, this was all just some elaborate hoax to scare users on 4chan. Number 2, this user was attempting to lure someone out there for whatever reason. It's possible they genuinely think they can make a friend by doing this, or maybe they just want to murder anyone who shows up. One thing is for sure though, if this is for real, this user is demented and needs professional help. Either way, most of 4chan decided they weren't going anywhere near that warehouse, and the thread would slowly begin to die down for the night.
Alex.
Users on 4chan wanted to know what happened that night, and if 2Q80 was truly trolling or not. But as time went on, no one would dare to get even close to Elizabethton, Tennessee, and users were beginning to think that they would never know what this mysterious prize was. However, everything would change when an anonymous user who went by the name of Alex posted about 5 days later. In his post, he claimed that he made it to the coordinates from the first thread, and was ready to explore. In this new thread, Alex would update 4chan directly from his phone, snapping pictures of his journey as he ventured through the warehouse complex. Everything that you will see now is all taken from the thread in question, which contains the entirety of Alex's adventure into the unknown.
Alex from Tennessee here. I'm at the location of Creepy Guy. Came early.
He then posts a picture of what seems to be stairs leading down. It's likely he surveyed the warehouse but found nothing, so if he wanted to keep investigating, he would only have one option. He would have to explore the basement.
Dark as fuck. Looks like he's growing something. Inside of door. Haven't found friend. Think I beat him there.
Alex was now getting deeper into 2Q80's lair, and was not only in search of the prize, but he wanted to know more about 2Q80.
Found some plastic. Place is huge. Carved from dirt, looks like. No floor or walls.
It was clear that someone spent a lot of time down there, even going as far as digging tunnels in the walls and ground to expand the basement further.
Stolen scrap? Can't see in pic, but little vines growing around it. Heard a car, but popped back up and saw nothing. Why all the wiring in a dirt basement? Heard a rustling. Could be a worker, or a cop, or a B-tard, or a creep. Standing ground.
It is very probable that 2Q80 had seen the thread and was making his way to the warehouse.
Jako to se vůbec neděje, jako živě takhle aktualizovat to bych nedělal, no. To je děsivý docela. To jako, to bych postoval, až přijdu domů, tím. Tady píšu jenom něco dobrý.
Although, Alex wanted to get to the bottom of this mystery, so he began looking for the prize.
Found a bag. I am actually scared. Peeking inside. Seems to be some mummified pelvis and a folded paper plate.
He then took the objects he found and placed them outside the bag for another picture.
Mummified rat or bat and plate.
It was time. 4chan would finally find out what this mysterious prize was.
Hard drive inside. Pocketed. Opening rest of bag.
Of course, the prize had to be a hard drive, and now 4chan had to wait even longer. All Alex had to do was leave the facility, get back home, and then upload the hard drive on his computer, so 4chan could see what it contained. But that wasn't enough for Alex, and he wanted to do a bit more exploring before he left. He then moved the plastic bag, which apparently was covering a hole. Also, the inside of the plate contained a message for whoever found it.
Plate's a date. A very important mate. I shouldn't have come here. I lied.
Even though this message was most likely a warning, Alex decided to keep on posting.
Okay, shit. Opening bag, and it fucking moved. Shat bag contained tortured possum, bound up in string. Bag inside bag inside bag. When I got all the bags apart, the fucker darted across dirt prison. Possum was jammed in this foam and plastic Walmart bag.
Alex was now getting increasingly scared. He had found a tied-up possum that seemed to be getting tortured by 2Q8E. This made users believe that the dead bodies 2Q8E showed at the start of the first thread were authentic, and that they were dealing with a real-life killer. In the past, some of the most infamous serial killers have harmed animals when they were younger, including Jeffrey Dahmer, Ted Bundy, John Wayne Gacy, and even the Boston Strangler. So Alex may have stumbled upon the lair of a young serial killer in the making. But for whatever reason, Alex decided to keep on exploring.
Holy shit. Above my head is a fuckload of old pills. Valium and others. Older than me, some of them. Sorry if people are asking things. I haven't read thread. I hear someone outside driving really slow over the gravel. I think it's time for my date. I'm gonna see if there's a second door. Dark as shit. Phone flashlight as shit. WTF is this?
Alex was now deathly afraid and realized the dire situation he was in. The car he heard above was probably 2Q8E, finally coming to greet him. So Alex decided to keep on posting while trying to find his way out of the basement.
Mailbox. More dead animal bits inside. Okay, no other doors but a crawl space and a window thing. Gonna exit that way. I hear the fucker. Window thing isn't a window. It's some other vent.
Kdo by se bál, ale já prostě takhle postoval každý 2 minuty. O, teko půjdu tady, uteču tomu vrahovi.
Heard from again, and whatever happened next would be unknown. There would also be no updates from 2Q8E, and Fortune was left with so many questions. What happened to Alex? Who exactly was 2Q8E? And what was on that mysterious hard drive? Users on 4chan felt like they needed closure, and desperately wanted more information. But it was clear they might never get to the bottom of what actually happened. Towards the end of Alex's thread, there was a bit more information that was overlooked. One user summarized what had happened up to that point, and it was clear that Alex had actually posted before he had ventured into the warehouse. According to the comment, Alex had met a weird guy at Walmart who asked if he went on 4chan. After Alex said yes, the guy told him to meet behind the Walmart that night at 11 p.m. When Alex got home, he would go on 4chan to explain what had happened, and he asked users if he should meet with the guy. Users on 4chan were quick to remember 2Q8E's initial post, and found out that behind the Walmart was actually the same location as the coordinates in the first post. 4chan would then convince Alex to go, but just as a precaution, he would bring a baton and switchblade. Putting all of this together, if Alex was telling the truth, the person he met at Walmart was probably 2Q8E. To make things even more interesting, I was able to find an old pastebin online, which had a few more shreds of information. Before Alex got home, there was one last thing he did. He would snap a picture of the mysterious individual he met at Walmart, who we now believe is 2Q8E. This is the picture he took. As you can see, the mysterious person is a white male, with glasses and a beard. He also seems to be driving an older truck. On the right, you can see he was near a Zoomer's gas station, a Burger King, and the old Bloomberg factory in the background. After checking Google Maps and going to the Walmart that was in front of OP's coordinates, I was able to find the exact location the picture was taken. As of right now, the gas station seems to have a new owner, and the Burger King looks updated. But one thing remains the same, the abandoned Bloomberg factory in the back. The photos are a perfect match. So this means that the Walmart Alex went to was the one right near the coordinates, and unless he just took a picture of a random guy, we now know what 2Q8E looks like.
Už to vidím. Okay.
Going back to Alex's thread, everything would begin to slow down, leaving 4chan users wondering what exactly happened that night. It wouldn't be long, however, before more threads began to spring up, where users were trying to piece together what had happened. In one of the threads, something absolutely crazy would transpire. 2Q8E would come out of hiding and post once again. The original thread is lost in time, but some users recalled what he said.
OP posted again. Pics of plate. Wrote, I will show you more the 30th of April alive. He said that Alex is good fret. We'll timestamp a photo of him if we solve the puzzle. Posted the clue.
The clues in question were audio files posted to Vokaroo, which of course is now lost in time. However, I was able to find a re-upload on SoundCloud. It may sound strange, but this is the first clue that 2Q8E posted.
داشتیم و حقیوش باید سرنود این عارف از شnek
To je švédština?
The next clue didn't sound much different, and at first, users on 4chan thought it was a troll. Although, some were able to deduce that the clue was in Icelandic. So they posted it to 4chan's international board to see if someone could translate it. And after some rough translations, this is what the clue says.
Find you will not, but seek you will try. Buried behind the fence with skulls he will lie.
2Q80 would then post a picture on the thread, which appears to be a farm. Users on 4chan were quick to assume that after posting this, he was implying that Alex was dead and buried near the fence. 2Q80 would also post more clues and a number string that seemed to be important. Users on 4chan would become obsessed with this and thought it somehow could be code for a phone number. However, 2Q80 would then go dark once again, leaving 4chan to solve this mystery.
So the killer could live on or own a farm. Most farms are in rural areas, so this could be the reason for the killer's introversion and social awkwardness.
I wouldn't go unless I had a solid crew and more than one person with a gun. I've never felt so off about something on X in years. All sorts of spooky.
What we must be careful of is the fact that he might be dangerous. We possibly could be taking a risk.
Some users believed it was all connected to another anon who got wrapped up in a pedo cult during the prior year. He would even try to lure other users out to those warehouses, but no one would dare to go out there. 4chan had a picture of him, but there was barely anything archived from that time. Users would try everything, from attempting to get Walmart security footage, to looking up any missing persons in the area, to even calling the Vision Center nearby, but still, no luck. It wouldn't be long until one user would post the archive thread on Reddit's r/4chan. After this happened, this story would absolutely blow up, and Alex from Tennessee would no longer be an obscure thing that happened on 4chan. One of the users on Reddit lived nearby, and decided to go out to the warehouse with some trusted friends to see what they could find. These are the pictures they took.
Okay.
Unfortunately, even after many other users going out to see for themselves, no one has been able to find anything notable. Users on Reddit and 4chan, however, were hard at work, attempting to put everything together. A Reddit user named Derper made an interesting observation after analyzing the timestamps of the pictures Alex posted. Using the fourth picture as an example, we can obtain some pretty interesting information. At the top is the time Alex uploaded the comment to 4chan, and just below that is the time he selected the picture from his camera roll to post on the site. By using this information, we can see that he selected the picture, uploaded it to 4chan, typed out those sentences, and even completed a CAPTCHA, all within 26 seconds. Not only did he do this, but he consistently met similar times during every upload, all while using his mobile device. To top it off, he updated 4chan every 1 to 2 minutes, while he was traversing through a creepy underground layer and writing out a description. It simply just doesn't make any sense. If Alex actually pulled this off, it would mean that he was completely fixated on his phone the whole time. So this user believed it was a hoax. Another user in the thread, named Team Braniel, took a look at the dimensions of all the photos taken. He found that all the images uploaded by Alex had a different resolution than 2Q80. Along with this, none of Alex's pictures had been tampered with, while 2Q80 cropped a few of his photos. This implies that based on the pictures alone, Alex's story holds up. So this user believes it could have been real. But after all the research throughout the various threads, no one has been able to find out what truly happened that night. Because of this, I decided to do some research of my own to see if we could solve this mystery once and for all. So let's dive just a bit deeper. At this point, there are two main theories. 1, the whole thing is real and Alex actually went to the warehouse and disappeared. 2, this is all an elaborate hoax made up by 2Q80. If this is true, then 2Q80 is most likely the same person as Alex. Again, the area this all went down in is Elizabethtown, Tennessee, and the location of the coordinates actually has a pretty intense history behind it. To map things out more clearly, the warehouses behind Walmart used to be connected to a bigger abandoned building known as the Bloomberg Factory. Because of the many disasters that have struck the building, from a violent union strike that led to 10 deaths, to a deadly explosion that killed nearly 100 people, the factory became decommissioned and was partially torn down for the Walmart. However, the north and west buildings are still standing, where all of this supposedly took place. Ever since then, it has been a hub for homeless people, drug addicts, and even unexplained deaths. Because of the history behind it, some users on the internet see this complex as a spot for ghost hunters and paranormal experts to explore. So even though it's abandoned, it still has quite a bit of foot traffic. As of 2024, portions of the factory are now torn down. It appears that 2 out of the 3 remaining warehouses are still intact, including the one from the coordinates. However, any remnants from Alex's adventure in 2013 are likely gone, unless the underground portion that he explored hasn't been found yet. So it's unlikely we will find anything new at the warehouse unless we get lucky. I came across a website made by 4chan, dedicated to finding out what happened to Alex, named the Alex Archives. At this point, the site is now defunct, but luckily, the Wayback Machine is here to save us. As for most of the pages, however, they appear to be lost in time. But there is something at the top that has some useful information. It mentions that Alex is dead, and someone named Corey Saller was doxxed. Then, towards the end, it says fuck you all, thanks for the fun, which makes me believe they stopped searching for whatever reason. It looks like that sometime after this final update, the site would go defunct, and would only be accessible by the Wayback Machine. It's possible they gave up searching because they found that the one behind everything was Corey Saller, but the first sentence, which states Alex is dead, makes me think that the people looking into this believe that he truly died, and everything that happened was true. In hopes I can find someone who was involved with the website, I searched literally every avenue, from looking up everyone that was mentioned on the site, to finding potential Alex from Elizabethton, Tennessee on Steam, to even scouring Discord servers that could have some older 4chan users on it. Although, that went just as expected.
$5 and a pick of your balls and I can help.
The closest I got was finding one of the live streamers who was definitely involved in some of the 4chan threads. But even though they had an active account on Twitter, I couldn't get them to respond to me, no matter what I said. Although, I did end up finding a Corey Saller, who was from Elizabethton, Tennessee, which I believe was the same person who was mentioned on the site. To make things even more interesting, his middle name is Alex. However, after attempting to contact him, he has yet to respond. Going back to the posts, I decided to hire a professional forensic linguist who could analyze both the writing of Alex and TQAD to see if they are the same person or not. So I sent over all the post information, and only a few days later, the investigator would get back to me. The analysis is quite long, so I'll cut straight to the conclusion.
Due to the unique fragmentation of sentences, the inconsistent usage of capitalization, the inconsistent apostrophe usage, and the specific unique language used in both 2QAE and Alex's communications, it is highly likely that the communications were authored by the same individual. It is also highly likely that both sets of communications were posted from computers rather than mobile devices.
After looking at a forensic scale that was sent along with the analysis, highly likely is the most certain they can be. Even though we may never know for sure, this forensic expert firmly believes that both posts were communicated from a computer and that Alex and TQAD are the same person. From this forensic analysis, to the information gathered from Reddit, to even the Alex Archives website 4chan made, so much of this story just makes me believe TQAD and Alex are the same person. It's possible TQAD put all of this together in an attempt to lure people to his lair, but got scared when it became too big online. Or maybe he just wanted to cement himself as a legend on the internet. However, if Alex really was telling the truth that night, and he actually went missing, then TQAD is probably still out there, lurking in the shadows, for his next opportunity to strike. Either way, we may never know the whole truth about what happened that night, like who TQAD really is, and what was on that mysterious hard drive.
Hard drive. Oh yeah. No nic. Bum, bum, bum. Škoda, že dneska zase bylo Roblox. Bože můj, ten Twitch, když občas otevřeš, tak si říkáš, že si nejseš na špatný stránce zase. Minimální. Nemá zapnutý raidy. Ježišmarja, teď jsem se málem potohl. Já nechci jako Angličany. Raidu, díky. A nevím, zítra nejspíš nic nebudu. Ale za 2 dny asi jo. To už je tak, doufám, asi už Roblox jenom. Takže čus.